Hi there, I'm Sabrina. Welcome back to another community chat. I'm here with Michel. We're here at DST Coffee in Gardnerville. Julie's been teaching for 21 years. She's currently at Pawalu teaching 6th grade. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I wanted to ask you, first off, why did you get into teaching?
Well, this stems back to my 1st grade teacher, who actually is a resident here. Her name is Linda Tobias, and I have a paper that I actually looked at yesterday, and it said, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. So I knew that in 1st grade, and I came from a large family, and so I was just always about children.
That's great. I love that you were able to write down what you wanted to be as a little kid, and then you actually became that. I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I did not hit that mark at all.
I think I may have wrote that down around 3rd grade, but like we all go through the marine biologist thing.
Yeah, I think so, like the seals and the otters and stuff. What has been your most positive experience in teaching?
One of my most favorite highlights is when I walked into 4th grade and my principal told me that I was going to have a deaf student, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I've been a teacher for a long time, but I'm not sure what to do. Why did you pick me? And it ended up being the best, most memorable year I've ever had, learning how to help her, but also learning to create a community in the classroom where we supported each other. I loved it so much that I took that class to 5th grade, and so I had them for 2 years. And I really miss them, actually, but they're in high school now. But having a student with a severe disability actually ended up being one of my most highlighted years that I've ever had.
Well, your principal must have seen something really special in you to give you that opportunity, and that challenge presented itself to help you grow as a person and a teacher. So that's really great.
I also had a student that came from Tibet, which was really like
that's culturally different.
And that was also just this really eye-opening year of helping a non-English speaking student learn to kind of assimilate into Gardnerville, Nevada. And it was really a fun year.
How did they end up from Tibet to Gardnerville?
They were refugees.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some changes that you've seen since becoming a teacher?
Well, there's been a lot of changes because I've been here my whole life. But right now I think we're coming out of COVID and we're learning how to work again. And I think we got to have kind of this lazy time.
Yeah.
And it really did have an impact on children and where they're at as far as their educational path and their social skills. I see a lot of kids now that have a lot of screen time, and I think it really does impact their brain.
Yeah.
So kids kind of change, but we as adults are also learning to come out of COVID. And I think that we are learning how to adapt. And so that change that has started in 2020, we're just coming out of trying to relearn how to live again.
Yeah, it's kind of a ripple effect, because I think if we're having a hard time as adults trying to get back into the swing of things, so to speak, our children are going to see that and they're going to feel that. So we can only expect that they're going to feel and do what we're doing.
And their educational holes are craters.
Yeah.
And I understand it explains why it happened, but we all can learn to high levels, and so we just have to get back to that and pushing ourselves.
Yeah. It'll happen. I think it'll just take some time.
It's happening.
Yeah. It's much better this year than it was last year.
Yeah.
What changes would you like to see in the educational system?
We, I believe, are over-testing our children with standardized tests. And it's really a tricky situation because we have state-mandated tests that give us no information until the kids are out of our class.
Okay.
And then we have other tests that allow us to see kind of the insight if the children are taking them, really taking them and being true as far as like just not pressing the next button on a computer. I think so. I would really like to see less standardized testing that takes a lot of time out of our days with them. I would like to see smaller class sizes. It's really hard when you have classes over 30 to meet students at their level and get to know them and help them individually. And we can talk about teacher pay forever, but I'm at the end of this, and I live in this valley, and I feel like I've made a good life for myself on my teacher salary. But I do feel like we need to look at these entry-level teachers coming in. How can they afford to live here? How can substitutes afford to just be a substitute or a bus driver? I really worry about that and who we're putting in our classrooms and who can survive on, the entry-level teaching salary.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Another concern is how many college students are going into education. I used to have a lot of student teachers. That used to be a yearly thing. I would be asked to be a lead teacher, and I'm not seeing it anymore.
Okay.
It's hard to get substitutes.
That's a bit scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I would like to see those changes as well. Is there anything that you need or want from your community?
Coming out of the midterms, I feel like there were a lot of words thrown around in our community that they're not happening in my class, and so that respect that I think we should have for each other, and I'm sure some things are happening, but I think that what I guess I need from my community is we need to inspect what we expect.
Okay.
So if you're worried about things happening in the classroom, or you just want to help to get into the classrooms, be a volunteer. We even want you in middle school. I know that is, not always their students may not always want you there, but your teenagers, your kids, they need you in the classroom. They need you to be involved in education. It's not just a place you send your kid for 6 hours a day and it's done.
Yeah.
So I want to see that respect piece back, but I also want to see just more family involvement. And I think as schools, we need to reach out a little better than we do. But as parents, trying to find that time within a 9-to-5 work schedule also. But we do have after school things. We have all kinds of ways to be involved. So I really, as a community, would like to see more people be involved with our school.
So to our audience members that would like to volunteer, how would they go about doing that?
First thing is you can go straight to the school. We do require background checks, which are necessary.
Yes.
And they take a while.
Yeah.
But once you get them done, they're good for 5 years. So as soon as you have your background check, you have 5 years. You can come and be in the schools. I, even in middle school, would love to have parent volunteers more. And if you're uncomfortable working with children, then there's teacher stuff to be done. It could be copying or making special projects up. But we definitely just start with that background check, and then it's good for 5 years.
It's great. So you guys need to get in there and volunteer. We could use it.
Yeah, we definitely need it.
Well, thank you, Julie, for joining me today. It was a pleasure meeting you and pleasure chatting with you. I'm Sabrina with Kirsch Realty. If any of you guys are buying, selling, or just looking to chat about the market, give me a call and let's chat. Thank you so much for tuning in today.